Hello everyone! Welcome to my final stream! And, oh boy, it is certainly a thing saying that. I've been streaming for, I want to say 9 years, 9.5 years. It sounds about right. To think that my streams are coming to an end. Again. Not really the first time, come to think of it. More on that later. For now, we got some cleaning up to do here in Super Mario RPG. Got a few things on my to-do list. First things first, I want to see if Frogfucius says anything now that we have successfully defeated Kulex. Which, by the way, I defeated Super Duper Kulex, and I am really freaking proud about that. Managed it at level 23, and it was really hard. It was definitely not like before, where I would hope that he runs out of magic points. No, he had plenty of magic points, it seemed like. But I managed it, and that is awesome. And hello, Maddie, welcome to the stream. Alright, what you got to say now? Mario, you've proven yourself unstoppable. From this day forward, it's you who should be called a sage. I cannot imagine Mario being a sage. And yep, I need to also check on the bestiary for Kulex, because I didn't really do that last time, because I didn't thought peek during that fight, and I didn't have enough frog coins to do the thought peeking. But I have done the thought peeking, and on that note, in order to get the money that I need, I decided to fast travel to the fast cliff here at the end of Land's End, because, as it turns out, this is the fastest way to get some frog coins, not that platforming challenge in the middle of Land's End. Do okay at this, you get around 1 frog coin, do really good at it, and you get 5 frog coins. So I racked up enough frog coins to buy the rest of the thought peaks with Kulex and those crystals. And we get a special message for it! Exclamation mark. You got a reward for 100% completion of the monster list. Got a monster trophy. I'm glad that you checked off every entry in the monster list. I hope you enjoy the finished list as much as you enjoyed filling it out. I did actually enjoy filling it out. By the way, I have recently learned that the person behind the cliff is a toad wearing a green vest. I found out about that on YouTube. Hello there, Cindy. Welcome to the stream. In regards to Mario being a sage, Maddie says maybe a sage of cardio with those jumps. No, he's already a sensei for that. Alright. Final entries in the monster list. Interestingly, Kulex is first on the list. Okay, how much HP does Kulex 3D have? I'm betting at least 10,000 HP. The answer is... almost 10,000. 9,999. I guess technically that's the max in Mario RPG. That is how much damage that Geno can cause. Granted, there was nothing stopping them from adding that 1 extra HP in the code, but maybe it would have taken more memory. Who knows? Either way, I am fairly confident in saying that that is the most HP any enemy has in any Mario RPG. You beat the toughest fight in the game! Thanks for playing all the way to the very end. Message from the development staff. Well, that's really nice of him. Fire Crystal 3D, 3500 HP, which was about the highest HP the crystals had the first time. A crystal with the power of fire. It's unhappy with its master, who wants to use the fire of justice for evil. Water Crystal 3D, 2800 HP. A crystal with the power of water. It needs a wet place to grant the healing power of water, which gives life. Oh wait, Thought Peaks! Back to Kulex. You shall bear witness to the power of post-game content. I have indeed bared witness to the power of post-game content, and it was a bear. Somebody is mowing lawn on the day of my final stream, and that annoys me a little. But it also totally figures. Fire Crystal 3D. Master Kulik certainly has grown impressive. Certainly did. I'm really thankful that he stopped using his ultimate attack during the final phase of the fight, because I would not have been able to survive. On a related note, let's try to get to that attack. There. Considering that this is a Final Fantasy Super Boss, I'm a little surprised he doesn't have a Final Fantasy Super animation that takes like 10 to 30 seconds to play out. Okay, Water Crystal 3D. I continue to hate how dry it is on the surface. You would get along well with Team Aqua in Pokemon Gen 3. A crystal with the power of water. It needs a wet place to grant the healing power of water, which gives life. Kinda glad that it did not have a healing spell. Earth Crystal 3D. Indeed, as Ryanland has pointed out, all the crystals have 1,000 extra HP. A crystal with the power of Earth. It slept underground for a long time, causing extra bad earthquakes. Personally, I'd never felt the need to become three-dimensional. Well, yeah, you out of all of them, you've gained the least amount of extra power from it. Wind Crystal 3D, 1800 HP. You, on the other hand, benefit the most from the buff. A crystal with the power of wind. The sound of wind slicing through the air can be heard all over the world. Whoosh! Swoosh! And that is everything. That is everything on the monster list. Which is why I now have a gold medal for it. Huzzah! Anything new in the scrapbook? Kulex forever. We crossed paths with Kulex again in three-dimensional form. It was an even more grueling fight. But once again, when defeated, Kulex didn't seem to be up to anything overtly evil. I guess he was just evil in spirit. I doubt there's going to be anything new listed in the sound player. Play report. Let's see. Down there at the bottom, we now have fewest turns to defeat Kulex. 39. Had I actually done some level grinding, someone is totally revving their truck outside. Gosh, it is loud. And now I forget what it was that I was going to say. Yep, completely lost it. But it is interesting to hear that someone's actually managed to defeat Kulix in 3 turns. Oh right, I remember now. Had I leveled up, definitely would have taken fewer turns to defeat Kulix than that. As an aside, it occurs to me, I had an easier time with the first form of Kulix in this playthrough than I did in my original playthrough. And it occurs to me the reason why is because I brought a whole bunch of party bracers to the fight, so I could buff my entire team's defense in 1 turn, whereas in my original playthrough I relied on Kulix to buff our defenses 1 person at a time. So that definitely sped things along. Also, Wario Land was asking a few minutes ago, fast traveling to the tall cliff takes you directly to this. It doesn't take you to the platforming minigame in the middle of the place. Although starting from here still would have been faster than starting in Monster Town. Who did I say buff my team 1 person at a time? If I said Kulix, I meant to say Geno. I had Geno boost my teammates 1 person at a time with Geno boost in my original playthrough. Oh, speaking of Monster Town, I'm curious if the piranha plant next door acknowledges that his neighbor has returned. Our neighbor's back and he's at it again. I wonder if I'm stuck listening to him forever. What is he saying in there? Next, I'm heading back to Star Hill, because I know that the wishes here at Star Hill change upon defeating each super boss. So, I'm gonna find out what they all say now. I have no intention of refighting Kulix, by the way. The 1 fight was definitely enough. And in fact, if I ever replay this game, I'm gonna refight the super bosses at max level. Because while I definitely appreciated the extra challenge, oh boy, that was kind of rough. I want to join Bowser's minions. That's gonna be Punchinello now. That doll was something special. That would be Booster. I wish we had at least 1 more student. That would be Jinx. If Jinx and... I should know his name. He had a name even in the original. The other guy... If they had a 3rd teammate... Yeah, Jagger. I should definitely remember the name Jagger. He's got the moves. But if they had a 3rd teammate, who do you think it would be? Perhaps that Goomba from downstairs? I'd like to try eating a frog someday. I get the feeling Balloon tried once, and Frogfucius got out of that situation with some Looney Tunes shenanigans by placing his staff in Balloon's mouth. I wish I could make a normal cake. That would be Torte. And that would be a mole sneaking up. And as we have learned, trying to run normally is kind of awful. Because it's based on speed, and your speed never goes up despite your levels. I hope that guy wins his corker of a fight with the Smithy creature. That would be Jonathan Jones. Was that all of them? Nope, one more. I await the Destined One's return. That would be cool, X. I am being informed by M. Knight that runaway chance is actually 60% unconditionally, 70% on breezy difficulty. 60% chance is awful. I'm currently in the process of making an RPG Maker game, and I can tell you right now, I'm setting Flea chance to 100%. Oh, Wario Land brought up an interesting thought. Jinx and Jagger teaming up with Thwomp. Kind of think of it, you never actually fight a Thwomp in this game. Actually, offhand, I can't think of any Mario RPG in which you fight a Thwomp. They tend to be invulnerable. Yeah, RPG Maker 2 does in fact allow you to change the, well, it allows you to modify the very script that affects running. So, not only can I increase the odds of fleeing to 100%, I could just be fancy with fleeing. And in fact, I have it set so that the camera turns away when you flee. Now then, one more thing. It is my understanding that the ending is slightly modified now that I have beaten all the super bosses, and I want to find out how. And to speed things along, you might have already noticed this, but I am now at max level. Best way to get to max level? Well, for one thing, buying the experience boost item from the frog in Seaside would be helpful, but I didn't feel like grinding for the frog coins for that, so I just did it normally. Otherwise, the fastest way to do that would be to repeatedly fight Machine-Made Yuridovich. Goes down really quickly. Doesn't have a ton of HP. And also gives 60 experience points for each fight. FYI, this attempt, I took him down in 3 hits. Thanks to good timing. But you can see right here, final level up was Peach. And the final bonus, the best boost, is attack power. And giving Mushroom Man nothing but mushrooms, absolute max HP in this game, 255. Which is kind of low in RPG terms, especially compared to like Final Fantasy, but that is in fact the absolute max number for 1 byte of memory, I think. So going higher would have actually taken more memory. Not that that was an impossibility, because you know what, I'll save here. In the Super Mario RPG ROM hack I played years ago, the ROM hacker actually modified the data so that these characters could have more than 255 HP. Not that it really helped. I should have showed you all what equipment everybody has. Mario's got the attack scarf as well as the lazy shell weapon. Nobody's got the lazy shell armor. Heck that. Bowser and Peach have their most powerful weapons. Bowser still has the Troopa pin. Peach, I think I gave Booster's amulet because it also boosts her attack and speed. Something like that. But I wanted to come into this fight at max level and also with some really strong equipment so that I could quickly wreck Smithy. I said it's going to be funny if it turns out that Smithy, for some reason, decides to actually turn into a treasure chest on this run. Tell you what, it's nice that I can kind of speed through the text, even if it takes multiple presses to do it. Oh, and just to extra wreck Smithy, first things first, Party Bracer to boost our defense, so I don't have to heal too much. And Party Energizer to double our attack. Get wrecked. Not as much damage as I was hoping. The timing of that chomp takes a little trickiness. That feeling when Princess Peach causes more damage than Bowser. There we go. That's the damage you can expect from that weapon. Doubled. So I have plenty of final thoughts to give for this game, but I'm just going to focus on the fight because I am terrible at multitasking. Need to focus on the fight. Well, that's the end of phase 1. Yeah. This time I'm okay with your messages going too fast. In fact, I'm speeding them up. You did this to yourself, Smithy. It's all on you. You can take a little bit of a better look over here now that there's not a bestiary HUD sitting over here. Up until it turns into a cutscene. That is a really cool effect. We'll go ahead and use magic. That way I can also take care of the body. Not you, Mario. You just kick. Ha 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 ha! 614 damage. If not for Geno Whirl, that would be my new highest damage. Oh, and bringing Bowser and Peach into the fight this time, since I focused on Mallow and Geno during the first time. Yeah, this is gonna go quick. This is gonna be satisfying. This is gonna be a rare instance where I'm actually kind of okay with this fight being easy. Gonna take satisfaction in this. And if the mage head comes out, I'm going to cause even more damage. Time for more magic. It's gonna be funny if I can get through this fight without needing to heal. It's gonna be funny if I get through this fight without Smithy transforming. I think I just defeated the body with the shockwave of that attack. Oh! Age changing. Darn. Bet he's not too far off from losing, though. And he goes straight to the freaking treasure chest. Are you kidding me? So who's immune to stuff? Oh. The equipment I chose is not immune to stuff. Oh well. Hey, new record! And I win. It's definitely interesting that he takes the time to change back to normal before dying. Did not do that in the original. I guess they couldn't figure out how to get this cutscene to play with the other head animations. In the original game, the head animation just replayed his attack animation over and over again. So, that is how you wreck Smithy. I don't know if I have my game volume high enough, but I definitely like the wind sound that is playing here. In the original game, it was just complete silence, which actually was also effective. The fight is over, and things have quieted down. Having the wind is equally as effective. Royland says, I'm still mad we never got to see the complete all 7 stars in either the File Select menu or the Pause menu. Because post-game is not post-story. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't mind that I can refight the final boss. Because it's nicer to be able to see this ending again. Especially knowing that there's going to be some changes to it. But still, kind of a missed opportunity. In the original game, there was no post-game, so you never saw a complete 7 stars in that either. I have also learned that Mallow actually has 3 front teeth. And which one is displayed depends on the scene. It is interesting to see the star pieces converge into Star Road like this. I mean, like I said, in the original game, Star Road was a big star with just the star pieces placed around it. And I don't know that it was implied that the bright flash at the end was Star Hill being reformed. But a lot more clear-cut here. Alright, I don't know what changes to expect during this ending, but at the very least, I fully expect Punchinello to be in the scene rebuilding Bowser's castle. Oh! And, we finally get to see Baloom's backside. I honestly did not know that Baloom had a tail. So I don't know how much of this ending is going to get changed. Whether it's just this sequence or if the parade will also have differences. But I'm going to assume the parade is going to be basically the same. Oh, the chefs are now in the wedding. I guess now they're no longer fending off a living cake. Jinx is here in this ending, along with Jagger. And Kulik's hiding in the background. You were already in this ending. So if that scene had to change, I don't know what. There's Punchinello. He's using his attack animation and his cut off screen so you can't tell that he's not actually doing anything. And the super bosses are here as well. Which, I can't remember if they were the first time? Who was standing in Baloom's place, if not Baloom? Did I say Punchinello? I thought I said Punchinello the first time. In Bowser's Castle. I don't know. I mix up names. But that is, once again, the end of Super Mario RPG Remake. And my gosh, I love what they did with this game. It's so much effort, so much love put into this. I had a few nitpicks here and there, but they did a great job with this. Like, wow. I'm gonna say it right now. This isn't just the definitive version of Super Mario RPG. This is the definitive version of Super Mario RPG. To explain what I mean, I think the best way to do that is to compare this remake with two other Switch remakes, Pokemon Let's Go and Zelda Link's Awakening. Now, I know Pokemon Let's Go is controversial, but I love Pokemon Let's Go. I think it is a great remake. Your partner Pokemon is adorable. Your other Pokemon can follow you around. Some of the story beats have been expanded on, such as Team Rocket and Cubone's mother. Your rival is likable, and I mean that in a good way. Trainer battles have more variety. For example, bug catchers actually evolve their Caterpies. And if you ignore the candy system, and the candy system is actually pretty easy to ignore, the game provides a decent little challenge without being ROM hack difficulty. Despite all this, I cannot say that Let's Go is the definitive version of Pokemon Generation 1, because there's plenty of reasons to go back and play the older versions, like how Let's Go changes how Gen 1 is played fundamentally, replacing most wild battles with a catching minigame. It also doesn't have abilities or held items. They removed the game corner mechanically, as well as an entire sub-region that was added in Fire Red and Leaf Green, because that's totally what you want in a remake, is less content than the previous version. And because Let's Go is basically the Safari Zone the whole game, I've noticed that it's becoming evening here, by the way. But because Let's Go is basically the Safari Zone the entire game, they replaced the actual Safari Zone with... Actually, I'm not sure what they replaced it with, because it requires that you play some smartphone game to unlock it. Now, don't misunderstand, despite all this, Let's Go is still my favorite version of Gen 1. It updates the originals in ways that I absolutely adore. But it doesn't replace the originals. Heck, I just replayed Pokemon Blue a few months ago. So, a great remake, but not necessarily the definitive version. Then there's Zelda Link's Awakening remake. Not as much to say about this one. The original game only had access to 2 face buttons, so you were frequently changing out equipment, including your sword and shield. Plus, the power bracelet, which lets you pick up objects, was also one of those items that you equipped, and you needed it frequently, so that was one of those things that you swapped out a lot. Here comes the remake having extra buttons to use, and it dedicates 2 of those extra buttons to your sword and shield. And the power bracelet is now context sensitive, rather than equipable. So, the remake has a whole lot less item management in the remake, which is nice. However, despite that, to me, the remake is not the definitive version. You remember what I said about removing content from a remake? The Link's Awakening remake... I lost track of my notes. Here I am. The Link's Awakening remake removed my favorite subquest from the Game Boy Color version, the Photo Mouse quest. And I am miffed about that. And it's not that the photo quest was removed because that was a Game Boy Color quest, because the remake does keep the Game Boy Color bonus dungeon. So why didn't they keep the Photo Mouse quest? Instead, they replaced it with a half-baked dungeon editor. There is absolutely no reason they couldn't have both the photo quest and the dungeon editor. So, while playing the Game Boy Color version does mean more item management, that's the version I'm sticking with, because the Photo Mouse quest is too important to me. That said, here we have Super Mario RPG Remake. Now, what did this remake remove? Surprisingly, not that much. I mean, there's a few quick nitpick moments of missing animations, such as Mallow not watching Mario jump when Mallow's being introduced to Mario. Frogfucius is a victim of identity theft. And the blackjack table at Great Guy's Casino has been replaced with a more boring card game. But other than that, this is a fantastic remake. The game has received quite the glow-up in both graphics and music. And if you're not impressed with some of the music, the old soundtrack is still available if you prefer it. Like, for the most part, I definitely enjoy the updated music. The only exception is the armed boss theme for, like, Clay Morton and Bowyer. The updated song sounds too similar to the regular boss theme. It doesn't quite have its own identity. So definitely nice that the old soundtrack is still available if you prefer it. And this remake has brand new post-game content, and a lot of extra personality has been added to the game. So I see really no reason to go back to the original. I mean, yeah, the blackjack table got replaced, but that's such a minor thing, and I can understand that given Japan's strict law about gambling in video games, of course it got removed. Honestly, I'm surprised and thankful that the casino is still functional, unlike the Pokemon Let's Go game corner. And while it does legitimately bother me that Frogfucius is now a nameless frog sage, it doesn't bother me enough to keep me from replaying this version. So, in the end, in my opinion, this remake is not only the definitive version of Super Mario RPG, I think it does replace the original, thus the definitive version. And after all that, I've got some catching up to do in the chat. Give me a moment. Ryan is pointing out the very vanilla kind of Mario vs. Donkey Kong Switch remake. Yeah, that's a good example of not the definitive version. I definitely see reason to play that version, but I also see reason to play the original. Same with the Superstar Saga 3DS remake. Maddie says, with this being the last stream, I would just like to say, thank you, Kat. It was in no small part stumbling on your streams back during, I think it was Yellow version you were doing, that helped me decide to keep on streaming myself. So I just want to say this now. Sincerely, you've been an inspiration to me. Thank you so very, very much. I just want to say this to you while I can with you right here. Thank you, and I'll try to be better about keeping up on YouTube. I definitely appreciate the words. FYI, this is not the end of the stream. We're only about halfway done with the stream. I have, I want to kind of do a retrospective sort of thing, which I'll get to in a moment. Looking over more chat. Oh yeah, the ally bus mechanic that's being pointed out by M. Knight. That's an interesting addition. I didn't really use it much because this game is already easy, and I don't feel the need to make it easier by making use of such an overpowered attack, where it usually was overpowered, with some exceptions. And, what else? I will say it definitely would have been nice if they added a hard mode. Because considering how much of an expert I am at this game, I definitely would have been playing this on hard mode if there was one. A lot of other games I will not play on hard mode because I don't need to make the game challenging for myself. Like I said, the super bosses here, I appreciated the extra challenge, but I don't want to deal with that challenge all the time. And in fact, if there was a hard mode, I would have hoped that it wasn't that hard. If anything, that would be more of an expert difficulty. Oh gosh, if this game did have a hard mode, can you imagine how much harder the super bosses would have been? Raylan wishes the game had even more post-game. All things considered, I'm kind of surprised that it actually had this much post-game. Because when I heard that there were boss rematches, as I said before, I thought I would just go to a room to just refight all the bosses. But no, there was kind of a little quest here. Not super elaborate, but I mean, the introduction of it was pretty nice. Going to Marymore and having that scene at night with Gino looking out the window, that was actually kind of nice. Yeah, an extra bonus dungeon would have definitely been nice. But otherwise, I'm definitely satisfied. This remake added so much in just little details, and I'm definitely satisfied. Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and get off of this so that we're no longer in the mode, the screen burning mode, anti-screen burning. Definitely a missed opportunity that even on clear data, they didn't add that last star piece to the menu. I mean, they have it right there, ready to be filled. Well, at the least, I have an extra star by my save slot. So, I guess there's that. It would have also been interesting if, after clearing the game, Exor would have been gone from the castle. Oh well. Anyway, that is all of my thoughts on this game, and I'm going to go ahead and go on to a break, and when we come back from this break, well, first things first, I'm going to throw you all a link, because I have collected a list of all the playthroughs that I streamed, and I'm not necessarily going to talk about every game on this list, but here's a list if you want to kind of look over it, and we can kind of reminisce of all my streaming years. And we'll do that after this break. Be right back.